Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I think I've determined I am the longest-term coach in the MIAA now. So I've been through all of them, from virtual reality to some other things, but this, Commissioner Racy, this is big time, and this is exactly what our conference deserves. Thank you so much for doing that, and we're looking forward to this season, and I've got a couple seniors with me, Morgan Fleming, Megan Skaggs, who have been, 4-year starters for us, and we are certainly looking forward to their senior year, and I can't wait to get started with practice next week.
Yeah, just to echo, not only Slife, but every coach that's got up here, and just the experience here, Commissioner Racy, Larry, the entire MIAA. This is just a big time event, and you really don't get the feel unless you're here, and it's just it's unbelievable. So we really appreciate it. Excited to get going with our team. Last year faced a lot of adversity, and counting on some new guys. I brought Matt Wilkinson. He's a senior that's been through it, 4-year guy. He's been a part-time starter for 2.5 years. He's hit some big shots for us and played in some meaningful games. So looking for him to set the tone, and it starts with the seniors. And he's one of 2 that we have, and Kendall Hampton is the other one. And I really believe that those seniors have to show the way because they've been through so much. But ready to get going, and in the last couple of years that we've been here, it just being in this type of environment gets you really excited to get going.
I'd like to open up to any questions.
For Coach Slifer first, is there a sense of urgency in the program with this being Morgan and Megan's last year?
Well, it's actually fun to see them finally. They've always been leaders, but now they're the oldest in the group. That it's their last year, and last year I spent all year just saying, you know what, I am going to enjoy Paige Redmond every day. Paige was a great point guard for us, and this year we've got actually 6 seniors. 2 of them are hurt and are not going to play this year, and then Kim Crown, who is was hurt last year a little bit, but came on strong at the end of the year. And then we've got Lisa Davis, who is a senior that transferred in. So we've got 6 seniors, but those 2 came in as freshmen the year after we were 11 and 18. Since that time, we've gone 24, 30, and 25 wins. So they have been a huge part of it, and I've heard a lot of coaches talk about culture up here. And we did recruit some culture right there.
And then with your recruiting class this year, what did you kind of focus on bringing in?
Well, we wanted to make sure that that we have somebody to take over for Paige Redmond, and we've got 3 kids right now that are battling for it, and a couple kids that have been in the program, Gigi McAtee and Adria Cosley, and so we've got some people there that have got a little bit of experience. And I just can't wait to see what happens when we start full out practicing and going through a few scrimmages to see who comes up to the forefront.
For Coach Carlskint, you brought in a large group of recruits this year. How has that been mixing them in with the players that return?
Oh, it's been good. It's been fun. Just we got to get them caught up to speed. We got 8 returners. We got 8 new guys. And it's a work in progress, but we are excited. We wanted to address a couple areas in recruiting, and we felt like we did. One of those is just bolstering our athleticism on the perimeter, especially. We feel that we did that, but the thing I'm worried about right now is just our experience in the league. They're experienced basketball players. There's some transfers, but it's a different deal in the MIAA, and we're trying to get those guys to realize just how hard you have to play, not only on a night-to-night basis, but possession to possession to be successful in this league. And I think that we're going to be a better team later than earlier, just because we're counting on some new guys to play some big roles.
And then how does the loss of Jacob Lawrence kind of change the program a little bit?
One, just with him, you lost such a quality individual, a highly successful, not only player, But I mean, he was a great ambassador for our program, for our university, and for our community. Talking about a guy that 3.96 GPA and just poured his heart and soul into UCM. And with that being said, hate to see him go, but with him and just losing him, we'll be able to play a little bit faster now. I think we'd be stupid not to, but we ran our offense through him last year, and sometimes with his knee injury, it took him a while to get down the floor, so we had to wait. And but with him being gone, we'll be a lot more tempo-oriented, getting up and down the floor a lot quicker.
And then Coach Slifer, you brought in the reigning Junior College National Player of the Year. What has she brought to the table for you guys?
Well, we've been pretty fortunate with the 6-footers that can switch, that can all play in the post, shoot threes, and drive. And Nyjah is that way also. And I think that she'll bring a little bit more athleticism to our group. She is a very strong, very good rebounder. And one of the things she does so well is pass the ball. And she is a great passer. So it's going to be interesting to see how she fits in the league. But I think that she's got a couple good role models in Mo and Meg. And so she's figured out kind of the work ethic that's going to happen for her to be successful.
Anybody else have anything? Okay, coaches, if you don't mind, I'm hoping you can talk a little bit about the MIAA. You've both been through this quite a few times with the MIAA, and we've heard people talk about the talent in the MIAA, both in the players and the coaching talent within this league. But talk about the depth of the league and the overall competitive, both on the women's side and the men's side.
Well, since you made me start early the other day, Doug, I'll start first on this too, okay? So we're at the Rotary. I had to go first, so I'll go first again. I was thinking about this the other day, that in the last 14 years, we've had 3 different national champs from the MIAA, 3 different schools. And not only is that impressive, but in the last 10 years, I'm not so sure that Pitt and Fort Hays don't have as high or a higher winning percentage than the 3 teams that have won it. So we're a deep league, and from top to bottom, we're just so strong. And it's Midwest basketball. Basketball matters, and you see it in attendance, you see it in the skill level, and our kids, you know what, our conference has performed super well. And we have had the number one, on the women's side, it's been the number 1 league in the nation for the last probably 7-8 years.
Yeah, and I don't have the stats or anything like Slife, but I just know, and I was talking to Matt on the way up here, just from a coach's standpoint, we have Hall of Fame coaches in our conference. We have great players that are capable and playing in much bigger leagues in Power 5 conferences. So we got great coaches, we got great players, and then great institutions, like Slife said, that care about basketball. And it's only going to get tougher with the addition of Newman and Rogers State. We played we played Newman and RJ in a neutral site game 2 years ago, and just have the utmost respect for them. And just Justin, know he's going to do a great job. So I mean, the league just got better this year. So it's fun to compete in, and it's a challenge every night. And it's made me personally a better coach being in this conference.
Kathy, I think you have a question.
Coach Slifer, you addressed the fact that you have longevity in the conference as well as in the coaching profession. Tell us a little bit about what the MIAA fans might see different in Coach Slifer now than first year that you can share.
Well, and the reason she's asking that is because we used to compete against each other when I was at Mount Mercy College and she was at Culver Stockton back in the early 90s.
Be careful.
Yes, I will. I'll slow down here. But I think as you age in the coaching profession, you do some changes. And I'll be honest, whenever I was at the NAIA level, we did a lot of running pressing. And so if you're a running pressing coach, you're up and you're screaming and you're getting upset. And as I have aged, I have mellowed out a little bit, and we do things a little bit differently. So it's been fun, and I'd like to say it's just because I've learned, but I think my knees are so bad that I just can't get up like I used to.
Thank you, Coach.
And Coach Carlskin, I'll turn a similar question to you. You head into your sixth season now, just about to surpass 100 wins. Congratulations in advance on that. How have you progressed as a coach? What's different about you today, entering year 6 versus your first year taking over at Central Missouri?
You know, I used to have a whole lot more hair. It's thinning pretty quickly, especially with what we had to go through last year. And you know, and you learn something every single year, almost game to game. But you know, and just being in this league, it's such a challenge, and I don't know how much I've changed, but just with the evolution, I think the game has changed. And so, as a coach, you've had to change. Just you know, one, the physicality. You've had to adjust defensively on how you had to guard, but. I really can't say the one thing how I've changed. I've just tried to stay true to who I was from day one.